Bring the lights down low, it's time to show. Lights, camera, you know what we mean. Behold the magic of the silver screen. Some movies rock, some movies shock. They're powerful or odd. We cover them all on your favorite pod. So many movies we can't choose. Even when you win, you lose. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no math. It's the 30-something movie podcast. Be excellent to each other. Peace out and word to your mother. They're from the best decades. Movie magic that never fades. Lightsabers clash, phasers set to stun. Action packed from dusk till dawn. We have deep thoughts and questions free. Come share our love of the movies we see. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no math. It's the 30-something movie podcast.
It's the 30-something movie podcast. It's Wednesday, so it's not Friday, but it's Wednesday. You guys, we can pretend it's Friday.
Okay.
We can definitely pretend it's Friday.
Friday, getting down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying, fun. Looking forward to the weekend.
Let's say it's Wednesday, but act like it's Friday.
I
Okay.
love everything about this.
Okay. Because it's Wednesday, you ain't got no job, you ain't got stuff to do. It's Friday. I mean, the movie, right? It's not Friday. When will then be now is what I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, all right. The movie we're talking about this time around is Friday from 1995 with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker and a whole host of really, really funny people. I am your host, John Reed, and I have with me a couple of other guys that are hanging out on the porch with me. First, there's Bo. Bo, how are you doing?
I am well, John. How are you?
I am doing fine. I am doing great. I'm here talking with you guys, talking movies, so always good when we get to do that. Patrick, how are things going?
Going great.
Excellent.
Good to talk to you guys. How's everybody out there?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good with the start of the school year, back in the classroom again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been an exciting start to the year.
John, has the viewership experienced you in the classroom, or have you always been like teaching coach, learning coach, tech director, John?
I want to say, so I will. I want to say that when we first started, because I think February of 2015 is when we started.
Okay.
And so I think those first few months of the pod, I was still a teacher in the classroom.
Okay.
And then I think it was as of July 1st of 2015, I think that's when I switched roles.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, back at the very, very beginning, it was teacher John. And so now we've come, much like my waistline, we've come full circle.
Right. Right. And so now you're kind of like Captain Kirk talking to Captain Picard in Generations. Let me tell you something.
Basically.
Don't let him change you. Don't let him promote you.
Mhm.
Don't let him move you. As
Oh.
long as you're in the chair, you can make a difference. Is that kind of where we're at?
If I could go back in time, I'd probably strangle my younger self and say, don't let them promote you. Don't let yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You may, I
I'm
don't know.
picturing more like the scene from Billy Madison.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Oh.
grabbing my younger self by the cheeks. And don't ever change. Don't ever. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't let them move
Don't
you.
let them. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it's evident in the sound of my voice, but yes, even with all the like stresses of being a classroom teacher and whatnot, I'll just say it. I'm a whole lot happier. So
We're happy for you.
Getting more
Mazel tov.
sleep.
that's I can. I mean, not that I have been for the last few days, but I can sleep when eventually sleep comes. That sweet
Mhm.
sweet release of temporary death.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep.
Mhm. Sleep.
That's where I'm a Viking.
Yeah. That's where I'm a Viking. Oh, these taste like grandma. You're right. They do taste like grandma. That's some good fluting, boy.
How do you know what grandma tastes like?
Are they okay, Ralph? Tastes like burning.
Mm.
Uh,
The leprechaun tells me to burn things.
So Nora has decided that sometimes when we're riding in the car and we start doing impressions, she's decided that it's scary some of the impressions that I can do.
Really?
It kind of frightens her at times. Yeah. So I'm not going to do any more right now necessarily, but there are times where we're talking about something and I'll throw out some kind of impersonation and she just kind of looks at me like, that was actually pretty good. And for a teenager to compliment me in some way,
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Especially your own teenager.
especially my own. I feel like that's that's compliment inflation because
I was.
yeah.
That's almost like Empire Strikes Back when Princess Leia says, "You have your moments,
Right.
not many of them, but you do
them.
have your moments."
Mhm. I don't think I probably do have many of them, so I'm glad that I do have some from time to time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
John, hey, first of all, advertisement for our pod, and then also
Do it.
compliment for your daughter. It was so great having Nora on the show when we recorded Monty Python. Wait, is that in our future release, or have we already released that?
No, it has been released.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that was so great when we had her on the show. That was, I mean, I can't think of the last time I saw her, but
Mhm.
just, it's amazing how fast these kids grow up. And she was just a wonderful young lady and just delightful to have on the show.
Yeah,
It was very cool.
Yeah, thank you. She had I will tell her that. She had a lot of fun. She was like,
Okay,
I
good.
don't she's like, I don't know what I mean, I don't like this movie, so I don't know what to say. And I said, no, that's totally fine. It's okay if you don't like the movie. Well, but are people gonna argue with me? I was like, yeah, maybe a little bit. But that's kind of what we do. It's friendly arguing.
Well,
It's
I mean,
not like
Dennis was here, so of course they were going to argue.
right.
Yeah. And
Love
as
you,
far as
Dennis.
as far as not making not liking movies, I make an art of it. I don't like any of the movies that are, regular or longtime listeners like. So, I
Right.
mean, you're
We
in
make
good
a whole
company.
bit out of the fact that
And-
Pat doesn't like
Yeah.
certain movies.
Exactly. That
Oh.
reminds me, if you haven't joined us yet
Uh-oh.
on Patreon, you can head over to patreon.com/30podcast. For some reason it made me think of that.
Yeah, it's funny
I
how
wonder
that works
why.
out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thank you to all our patrons, by the way. That's
Yes.
I say it week in and week out. It's just a humbling deal there.
It is. So yes, thank you to all of you. All right, so this time around we are talking Friday, and this is the Friday from 1995 with Ice Cube as Craig, Chris Tucker as Smokey, and a whole bunch of other people hanging out on the porch, or getting into fights, or stealing your $200, or inviting your son into the bathroom while you're taking a dump. All kinds of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into our trivia for this one, our little overview of what's going on in this movie. It was released on April 26, 1995, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 31 minutes, directed by F. Gary Gray, who did Set It Off and The Italian Job. Writers were Ice Cube and DJ Pooh, who did Next Friday and Friday After Next. Producers were Patricia Charbonnet and Ice Cube. They did House Party 3 and Are We There Yet? Composer was Frank Fitzpatrick, who did Nuns on the Run and Breakin'. Cinematographer was Jerry Lively, did The Maze and Dungeons and Dragons. Editor was John Carter, not the one from Mars. At least I don't think so. Who did Lean on Me and Boomerang. If it is, good for him. Nice job. Not John Carter of Mars, John Carter of the editing booth. That's a slightly less exciting Edgar Rice Burroughs story. Or maybe it's
But
not.
still,
Just
but
slightly.
it's still worth telling. It's a
Mhm.
story worth telling.
Yeah. Production company was New Line Cinema and Cube Vision. Budget was $3.5 million. Box office was $28.2 million. So on a little teeny tiny budget, this movie actually did really, really well. I want to say initial release on this in the States, it at least doubled, maybe tripled its money that it made. And the other thing to keep in mind too, I believe if I read or heard correctly, that F. Gary Gray, the director for this one, was 26 when he got the directing job. So imagine a studio like New Line giving $3 million to a 26-year-old who I think up to that point had maybe done some music videos and basically said, here you go, make us a movie. Like, that's a pretty big opportunity. That's really cool for him.
And do it in 20 days.
Yes. The fact that this was filmed in 20 days, actually filmed, I believe, in his actual neighborhood, the neighborhood he grew up in. And I want to say one of the houses was his house that he grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The director. It was his house.
Right on.
Yeah. Flickmetrics gives this one a 70%. Cinema Score did not have a score for this one that I could find. Ice Cube is Craig Jones. He was in Boys in the Hood and Barbershop. Chris Tucker is Smokey. He was in Rush Hour and Silver Linings Playbook. Nia Long is Debbie. She was in The Best Man and Big Mama's House. Tiny Zeus Lister, who passed away in 2020, I believe, was Debo. He was in The Fifth Element and The Dark Knight. John Witherspoon, who passed in 2019, played Willie Jones, the dad. He was in Boomerang and the Wayans Brothers TV show. Anna Maria Horsford played Betty Jones. She was in the TV show called Amen and A Medea Christmas. Regina King was Dana Jones. She was in Ray and If Beale Street Could Talk. Paula Jai Parker was Joy. She was in Hustle and Flow and Phone Booth. Bernie Mac, who passed in 2008, was Pastor Clever. He was in Ocean's 11 and The Bernie Mac Show. Faison Love was Big Worm. He was in Elf and The Replacements. Anthony Johnson, who passed in 2021, was Easel. He was in House Party and Menace to Society. And Angela Means was Felicia. She was in House Party 3 and The Cherokee Kid. Okay, we already mentioned this one got made in 20 days on a tight budget, sometimes just improvising as they went along. So DJ Pooh, the co-writer of this movie, was originally supposed to play Smokey, but the studio wanted somebody who had a little bit more mainstream appeal to them, so that's where Chris Tucker ended up getting the gig. And then this is actually, I believe, this is true, this is the origin of the meme and the phrase, "Bye, Felicia."
Mm-hmm.
So I believe this is where it got started. Which I know I don't want to dive into characters just yet, but I mean, I know we'll get there and everything else, but just the characters in this movie are awesome. They are hilarious. They are awesome. Felicia is hilarious, always coming by, like trying to take something from, can I borrow your car? Can I borrow some money? It's like, and then random stuff. Like, I don't think she mentioned it. It was like, can I borrow a pair of scissors? Just something, like always want to borrow something. It just, every single one of these characters, just memorable and hilarious. So we'll get into that. I just wanted to mention that since we were talking about the Bye Felicia thing. All right. In the heart of South Central LA, Craig Jones just lost his job. Now with his fast-talking buddy Smokey, he's got 1 day to pay back a ruthless dealer named Big Worm. With time running out, fist flying, and the neighborhood watching, Craig has to face the towering bully Debo, win the girl, and save his life, all before the sun goes down.
Now, your mama told me what happened to you yesterday. How the hell you gonna get fired on your day off?
Damn!
Look, she bending over. Hi, Miss Parker.
Hi, boy. Miss Parker just don't know.
Come here.
What's up, Big Perm? I mean, Big Worm?
If you ain't got my money, I'm killing you and him. You done dragged me into this?
I'm used to stealing. Get in, get out.
Here come Debo. Give me your stuff.
You want me to ask for my bike back? What bike?
The one I let you use a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that bike.
Count out my money.
40, 60, 80, 120, 140.
I don't think you're applying yourself, Smokey.
Lord have mercy.
Just give me 3.5 minutes. Maybe even 4. Hey, who is that?
Oh, no.
Drive by!
What's going on?
I don't know. It sounds like machine guns.
So you gonna loan me the money or not?
I wouldn't feel comfortable lending you $200 without a job.
If I was working, I wouldn't need $200.
Exactly.
Now, Dana told me about that big snake situation.
Big Worm.
Big worm, big hole, big... I don't give a damn!
¿Y qué te monótono? Me decime que le meto más de esto.
To the hip, hop, the hip, the hip,
I'm gonna kill you and Smokey.
You need a job.
You need a wig.
Damn! What you hooking me up with that girl for? Talking about she look like Janet Jackson. Control. Got out the car looking more like Freddie Jackson.
Oh, my back, my neck. I'm suing y'all. I want 150,000, but I'll set out of court right now for $20.
Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac, Johnny Witherspoon, Tiny Zeus Lister, and Mia Long. Friday.
Don't ever come by here. Okay?
I said a hip hop, the hip to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocker to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Directed by F. Gary Gray.
All right, so Craig wakes up to find out he's been laid off on his day off. With no plan and no money, he decides, these are the 10 major moments, by the way, missed that part. He decides to kick it on the porch with Smokey. Smokey reveals he was supposed to sell a stash of weed for the local dealer, Big Worm, but he smoked it instead, so now they owe Worm $200 or else. As they're chilling outside, we meet the eccentric neighborhood characters. We got Pastor Clever. We got Red, who got he got knocked out, but I think there's somebody here that could say it better than I do.
You got knocked the f*** out.
There we go. That's much better. I could try it, but it wouldn't be the same.
It's true.
I gotta let the original speak for itself.
It's best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris Tucker just has that certain something.
Yeah.
Makes all that possible.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
No one understands the words that are coming out of your mouth.
And then there's also Felicia. We mentioned her before, who's always asking to borrow random stuff.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. A worm threatens both Smokey and Craig to come up with $200 by 10 p.m. or basically get lit up. Suddenly, their lazy Friday becomes a ticking time bomb. Craig tries asking his mom, his sister, even his girlfriend Joy for money. Joy assumes he's cheating with Felicia and blows him off, so strike one. As things escalate, Craig grabs a gun to protect himself. His dad Willie lectures him on manhood, urging him to use his fists, not weapons, to solve problems. Debo forces...
I want to jump in real quick.
Go, yeah.
And say this was the one scene in the movie that I found it curious because before and after the scene, the father's like a very funny character, right?
Yeah.
Like telling him to come in the bathroom where he's, telling him to come in the bathroom, talking to him while he's going to the bathroom. Right. Saying silly things, acting but this is the one scene where it gets serious, right? And I think, obviously, well, yeah, we don't joke around with gun violence and all that, but I just found it interesting because this was like one scene where the father was like serious. It just felt very genuine when he looks at him and says, "What is that? Is that a gun? What's wrong with you? Like, why?" He's just aghast that he would do that, and then goes into the rant about, "Hey, back in my day, someone would punch someone else out, someone would punch it, and then it was it." But this, and I just found that whole thing interesting. And I guess it makes sense, especially when you give in the proximity to like Boys in the Hood and all that. Okay, they're urban violence, they're not going to be making fun of in the movie. But I found that interesting because I found that was not a character break, but it was just a very different look for the father. And so that was one scene that really stood out. And even the first time I saw it, it was like, oh, wow. He, up to this point, the dad's been kind of goofy, but now he's like super serious and all that. And then, after it goes right back to him being goofy.
Yeah.
But I found that a curious choice and I liked it. I really liked how they represented that. So
well, and if you're picturing everything from Craig's point of view, if he's the one that we're supposed to be following and it's his point of view, then it's kind of, it almost feels like sometimes the way and Craig's not a kid, but it feels like sometimes the way kids think about their parents is that, well, dad's kind of goofy, dad does weird stuff, and then there might be some really memorable times where it's like, yeah, but then this one time I really had a heart-to-heart with dad, and all of a sudden I got like this pearl of wisdom that may stick with me the rest of my life. And then the next day we were back to being goofy, and my dad was weird and crazy and doing all that other stuff again. So, yeah, I really like that part too. All right. Let's see. They've got to break in. Debo forces Smokey to rob their neighbor Stanley's house. They get the money, but Debo snatches it and dares anybody to take it back. Then Smokey tries to sneak the money back from Debo while he's asleep with Felicia, but Easel ruins the attempt, and suddenly a van rolls up and Big Worm's men are there. A wild shootout erupts. Craig and Smokey duck and dodge bullets, and the neighborhood wakes up, and chaos spreads, all because of this weed debt. And then finally, at the end, Debo hits Debbie. Craig finally steps up, fighting him in front of the whole block, and he wins. Smokey recovers the money. Craig ditches Joy. He gets with Debbie. Smokey ends with a wink to the camera and says, "I was just BSing, and you know this, man." And that is
And you know this, man.
And that is the end of our Friday. So that is the 10 major moments. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper in our thoughts.
And now, Deep Thoughts.
I have an opinion on this matter.
Don't mince words, Bones. What do you really think?
I like it a lot.
Wow. It's very deep. Thank you.
All right. I guess as we usually start, I will ask, is this the first time you've seen this movie? And general, before we get into talking about it, did you enjoy it? So I'll start off. This was not the first time I've seen this movie. I've seen it I watched it a couple of times, maybe during college. I had a friend that really liked this movie. And so I remember watching it a couple times in the dorms, maybe once again a few years later, but it's probably been at least a good 15, 20 years since I had seen this one. So it had been a bit of time. So, and I enjoy this one. It was funny when I saw it the first time. It's funny when I saw it this time. I will say I am not the target audience. Like, I understand the jokes, but I know I'm not the target audience for this movie necessarily. So I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff that I'm missing that I'm probably not either meant to get, or it's just not meant for me. But that doesn't make this movie any less funny. What about you guys? Bo, was this the first time you'd seen this, or had you seen it before? Pat, had you seen this one before, or was this first time for you?
I was just going to say ditto to everything you said.
Okay.
Saw it college, maybe high school, and found it funny. Loved it. I mean, I've watched it a handful of times since then, and always entertaining. Love the actors that are in it. Love the characters. The whole thing is great.
This was the first time I'd seen it all the way through.
Okay.
Oh.
Did you just were you watching it with friends and just watching bits and pieces?
Sorry?
No, I just said, were you watching it with friends and you just caught bits and pieces, or?
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
Okay.
Because I don't have that answer. I knew some of this movie, but is it just because it's so in the zeitgeist and the popular culture that I just knew bits of this movie?
Could be, yeah.
Or had I seen bits of it before? Like, there were definitely scenes, like the scene with him and his dad about the cereal. There were parts of that I had seen, right? And the Felicia stuff, well, you know what that, I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know this, man. That's one of my wife's taglines. So I think she might have showed me that clip once.
Okay.
So it could literally be I've just seen chunks of this movie because. But this was definitely the first time I saw it start to finish.
Okay.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great.
Did it
I had a lot of
kinda
fun with it. Go ahead.
Did it clock with what you had remembered from the bits and pieces? Was there anything like, oh, okay, that wasn't what I expected, or any of that kind of stuff? Or
No, that's the other thing. I was like, okay, I remember what I remember, and the rest of it is nothing. So it was a very interesting experience for me. It's not often that I have that. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I remember when I watched this in college for the first time, I remember this just being kind of a fun movie. It's the fun kind of, it's the like hang out on the porch, and it's one of those movies where you start the movie off and it's first thing in the morning on Friday. It's a 24-hour movie. You're starting it off first thing in the morning, and by the end of the movie, it's Friday night, and we're moving on into Saturday. And so it really, and Pat, I think I might have mentioned this to you a little while back after we had first watched this. And what this movie really makes me think of, and I don't want to belittle the movie. I'm not trying to belittle the movie or insult it in any way by saying this, but what this movie really makes me think of is it's very much a, I don't want to say clone because I don't feel like it's its own thing. It reminds me so much of Clerks.
Okay, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So there's so much of this, even down to the point of, how did you get fired on your day off? Every time they keep saying that, like, how'd you get fired on your day off? Reminds me of I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Okay.
Like the way they repeat that and like some of the other situations and stuff. So it's very, like, I'm not trying to say that this movie has copied Clerks in any way, but there's so much, and maybe there are parts that did. Maybe the director was like, hey, I saw Clerks. I really love that. I want to do something like that. Maybe he did, but I don't want to assume that because I don't know for certain what kind of influence was there. And I don't want to belittle that by saying, well, he didn't do something original. This movie is absolutely its own thing, but it's in kind of that genre of the hangout movie of, those guys are hanging out at work. These guys are hanging out on the porch. And I also feel like I was trying to think, have we had movies like this recently? I don't think we have hangout movies anymore. Like, have you guys seen any movies like this where it's like a couple of buddies and they're hanging out and they get into misadventures and things like that? And do you recall any that have come out, I don't know, even within the last 20 years?
Not that I can
Not I,
think
said
of.
the fly.
Because I feel like some of this was almost, and I'm trying to think of other movies like this. I feel like some of this was almost a very 90s thing. And this genre of the hangout movie was kind of a time and place, and we don't necessarily, maybe studios don't spend money on that anymore.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you mentioned Clerks. I didn't think of Clerks right away, but I almost thought of it as like just maybe in a similar vein of like A Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which, I mean, and then when you say that you kind of feel that it was a 90s kind of hangout movie thing, well, yeah, well, there it kind of fits in with that. So but no, just people hanging out doesn't seem to be in movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost thinking about, there's some others. I was just trying to do like a quick search of other movies that kind of reminded me of this. American Graffiti could be an example because that's one night. Like that's everybody's kind of hanging out in their cars, cruising the streets. That's the night before some of them are leaving for college. You mentioned Dazed and Confused. That's another great one. Yeah, I can't think of too many others. I mean, I know there's a few. There's shoot, why am I blanking on the name? Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I feel like and that's got kind of some of the stoner hangout vibes.
Sure.
Right, but when did that movie come out? Wasn't that early 2000s?
I feel like that was mid 2000s.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like that might have been in the theaters when I worked at the movie theater, so that's got to be somewhere around 2004, 2005, maybe.
Okay.
Probably 2004. That's the year I worked at the movie theater. So, and I feel like we showed that while I worked there. Yeah, and I mean, I guess you got some of the other ones like the hanging out at work kind of stuff. I guess you could throw in Empire Records, which we talked about earlier this year. You've got High Fidelity, the record store where everybody's kind of hanging out. So I guess you got some that are kind of like that. But I really got strong Clerks vibes when I was watching that. And I don't say that to say that, they copied Clerks in any way. Just it really, really reminded me of, as if these movies were cousins.
Right. Well, and if we're noticing a certain genre, then yeah, that fits right in.
And some of the characters in this are hilarious. And they reminded me so much of the different characters that you love from something like a Clerks. You've got your Jay and your Silent Bob. You've got the guy that comes in from the cigarette company to the convenience store. You've got all these like cast of characters that come marching through. Same with this one. Like you've got early on in the movie, what is it? It's Mrs. Parker they're checking out across the street because she's out on the lawn. And then was it Bernie Mac is Pastor Clever, and he comes out and just he's not in the movie for very long, but it doesn't have to be. It's a fairly memorable part. And the guys are looking, and Craig's like, look, she's bending over. And I found Bernie Mac's next line, Lord have mercy, the Lord is my shepherd, and he know what I want.
Yeah.
And then just as you have
that character cracked me up.
Yeah. And just as you have that different like rotating cast of characters that are coming through, the Felicia character, the girlfriend, Debbie that comes through, like everybody's super memorable. The one in particular, my favorite one in this movie is, and I tread lightly with this sometimes because sometimes when Chris Tucker turns it up to 11, it almost skirts the edge of a Bobcat Goldthwait feeling that I have.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I do not. He is the reason, and I know I got to give it another chance. I think Chris Tucker is one of the reasons I don't like The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Because his character just grates on me in that movie, and just every time he starts screaming, it just drives me crazy. This movie,
right.
I'm totally fine. This movie is at a level where I'm comfortable with it, and he's hilarious, and it's great. In Fifth Element, there's just something about that. Even as a kid, and that should be a movie a kid should love. Even as a kid, I went and saw that movie, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't want to watch this again. I know I got to give it another chance. It's been a really long time since I've seen it, so I should give it another try, but and I think it's Chris Tucker in that movie, but I enjoy Rush Hour. He's great. This movie, he's great. He's great in all the other ones I've seen him in. That one, I can't stand.
Yeah.
But this one, Smokey, is hilarious.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
The older the berry, the sweeter the juice. Man, it's the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
The berry, the sweeter the juice. That was a great line.
Puff, puff, give. Puff, puff, give. You're messing up the rotation.
Yeah.
And
I like that it's.
Go ahead.
I like that it's really all, like you said, from Ice Cube's perspective. It really is sort of like Clerks, almost all entirely being in the quick stop store. This is almost entirely on their front porch.
Yeah.
A little bit in the house, a little bit in the other house, but it's not like they have to travel around and have a lot of different scenes or set, I should say, locations.
Yeah.
So I like that simplicity as well.
Yeah, they keep it pretty minimal, and it's totally fine, and that's why I kind of wish we got more movies like this, because all those movies that I just rattled off, they're all from the, let's say, early to mid-90s, except for American Graffiti. They're all from early to mid-90s until maybe mid-2000s, so there's really only like a 10-year period where you get, what I think of as being like the hangout movie kind of a deal, and you really don't see too many of them. The thing is, this is one of those movies, it was a $3 million budget. $3 million then is probably, I don't know, let's say $10 million now. That's not a huge budget for a movie by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like if you get the right combination of people, you get the right actors, the right director, all that stuff, you give them $10 million, which is chump change in the movie industry right now. You give them that and have them churn out movies like this. And if you get it right, then it's hilarious. It's memorable. I don't know why they don't do more of this, because I feel like, we always talk about how horror is kind of a genre that's easy to put out in theaters because they tend to be cheap to make. They tend to get butts in seats because people want to go to the theater to see something scary. And you tend to get a pretty good return on your investment when you can churn out movies, especially if it's something that's part of a, like the Conjuring Part 17 or, whatever it is at this point. Rocky 5,000. That kind of stuff. I don't know why they don't do more of this, because I think there's totally still a market for this kind of movie.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes on the same, for me, the same thing that I was talking about when we went and saw Naked Gun. I feel like comedies have gone away. You put humorous elements in movies, all right? You put humorous elements in movies, so you kind of lose the dedicated comedy, ha ha, funny, laugh a minute, crazy cast of characters, funny settings. Better watch the trailer, the what do you call it, the closing credits, because they got fun stuff buried in there. I just don't see them as doing that anymore, and I feel like that Hangout movie was of its time.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, now that I'm just going to be on my old man rant. That whole hanging out thing. Okay, I'll just say it, and you tell me I'm wrong. Do kids really hang out?
Well, so that that was one of the points I was going to make. Was
Or is next Friday is Friday is like you're not hanging out at a dude's house anymore. You're just like, hey, let's meet online and post stuff on FaceTube or whatever it is. I don't know, but like I think, I hate to say times have changed. Now it'll probably swing back. And I'm excited to say that, for one, that like in the last couple of years, I've noticed my son more and more heading out on his bike going, yeah, we're going to go. Okay, where are you going to be? He got a new bike the other day, and he's just like, yeah, I'll be in the town. I'll stay in the county. I'm like, okay, well, we need a little bit more. And then I'm like, you know what? Just tell us when you think you'll be back so we know when to send help. But yeah, go out and get into adventures, and we'll figure that out. Well, then he got into a little bit too much of an adventure the other day. But the point is, that those times might be coming back. And I don't, but I don't know. Like, I think since this movie came out, I just don't know that people existed like they did the other. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Am I making any sense here?
You are. And in fact, I chuckled a little bit because as you're giving the impersonation of your son, trying to explain like, well, here's where we're going to be here and maybe do this and go here. What I'm picturing in my head, because what you sounded like as you were doing that was, well, I left a message. Oh, really? What number did you call? 2, 4, 9, 5, 6, 7. I can't hear you. You're trailing off. Did I catch a 9er in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Yeah.
My own children will do the same thing sometimes. It's, oh, where are you going? I'm going to, the thing with the there and the niner. And the, wait, did I catch a 9er? Where are you going that is a 9er?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No, it was cordless. Yeah. I think there is. I mean, I think I can't speak for all children. I know my daughter hangs out with her friends a lot. Now, granted, they're nerds, so oftentimes they're hanging out at the library or Starbucks to study.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even say study with quote fingers, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're writing stuff up for Model United Nations and studying. That's where we are in the nerd factor. So yes, some kids do. So I think there's still a time and a place for it, and or then do one with people our age.
Yeah,
like do one with the 45-year-olds.
But even what you were just talking about, that was an aspect of Dazed and Confused.
Yeah,
I mean, there were the kids in there that were the youth government or whatever, and it was like, the question is, do they go to the party or not? So I think it probably happens more than I want to admit, because I'm old, but I don't know. I would like to see more of it. I would like to see movies that depict this kind of thing becoming relevant again.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to say that this movie isn't relevant. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely.
That came out way wrong. I would just like to see these movies become more common again, and what it depicts in terms of people hanging out. I mean, obviously drug use and violence and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see those times happen again.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into our 3 questions here in just a minute, is there a scene? Is there a line? Is there a character that you could point to as your favorite in this movie? I've already mentioned I really like Smokey, and he's got probably some of the funniest lines in this movie. There were a couple of others that there was one line in Smokey I did like. He's like, I was gonna see if I could find it real quick so I make sure I get it right. I got mind control over Debo. He'd be like, "Shut up," and I'd be quiet. But when he leave, I'd be talking again. We got that one, and then the dad. I think the dad is probably one of my favorite characters because it's just that whole thing where he's like, "Come on in here. I'm smelling your stuff for 22 years. You can smell mine for 20 minutes."
The dad scene was definitely pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I think not only the scene itself, but just the sound effects that they chose to use made it even worse. Just bloop.
The awful plopping sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I'm like, just like, why is this happening? Like, why? Come on, Dad. Like, you got to up your game there. But that's the whole point of the comedy. You know, it's just funny stuff.
Well, and I got to say, I'm not. This is not a movie I'm showing to Nora right now, but I already sometimes will get the evil side eye stare because apparently, as an old dad, I apparently when I eat make mouth noises, and I think in this movie, I think they do a really good job of portraying the stuff that might drive you crazy about a middle-aged dad, because he is constantly like licking his lips. He's like licking his fingers after he's eaten something. He's like, there's a lot of, if you're somebody that struggles with sounds and sound effects, I think the dad in this is going to drive you crazy, but in a funny way.
Okay.
Now, what do you know about game? I got all the game. Now, your father, he got game, and then he comes out of the bathroom. Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open up a window.
Yeah. That was a great scene too.
You call that game?
Yeah. The interactions with him and his sister were fun too. I know that was more of a subplot, a B storyline for the movie, but it was funny how they were just at each other, but then they would definitely be like, you know, allies when they had to deal with the quirkiness of their parents. Or that was good.
Yeah.
I liked Smokey. He cracked me up.
Smokey's great. All right. Any others? Anybody else? Any other scenes? Any other quotes? Any other characters?
Bo, did you get anything in there?
We talked about the scene with the dad and the cereal, and you talked about the scene with the dad in the bathroom. I kind of liked Worm. Like, he kind of cracks me up the way he looks at Smokey like, now, come on. Did you smoke? I can't even remember the line, but you know the scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's a lot. There's a lot of fun here.
Yes.
And I think that's the...
I do like Smokey's line. Craig, he comes over there and asks for sugar. He's like, "We don't have any sugar." "No sugar? Y'all ain't never got two things that match. Either you got Kool-Aid, no sugar, peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger."
Yeah. That was funny.
All right.
World, I guess.
It is, I believe it is time for 3 questions. We have to have the 3 questions before 10 p.m. So here's the 3 questions.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, 3 questions. Question number 1, when the ice cream truck would pull up in your neighborhood as a kid, what were you buying?
I'm a sucker for popsicles. I think they're the bomb pops. And I remember a lot of the ones that my eyes would always go to. It was the red, white, and blue ones, you know, with the multicolor.
Yep.
But then it
buddy.
was like, boy, that was, I never got the little much. I never got the little characters where it was like the frog and then the eyes were like gumballs. And so I never got into that as much. I never got into like the chocolate bar, like the chocolate stuff as much, but the fruity popsicles, loved them. And the bomb pops. And then what was super cool was, you know, you'd get the red, white, and blue ones, and then every once in a while, like one truck would have the red, white, and blue, and then it would have like exotic colors, you know, like red, you know, green, orange, and purple or something like that. It was like different fruit flavors. Probably all tasted the same. But anyways, those man, I can shut my eyes and still see that little square on the side of the ice cream truck.
Yep. I'm trying to remember when they started doing the character ice cream bars, because I know they had like, those are the ones you're talking about that have like was it M&Ms or was it gumballs or something that were the eyeballs?
Yeah, and some of them were just like generic characters. I'm sure later they probably had like, I don't know, maybe some that were like, you know, a character in like a kid's movie or something like that.
I feel like
what?
No, I was going to say, I don't know how early they were, but I feel like they had like Ninja Turtles or Mickey Mouse or...
Yeah, I'm remembering that now.
Yeah.
I'm remembering that now. Ninja Turtle one, I definitely remember.
Oh, yeah. I feel like more recently they might have had like SpongeBob and like Marvel characters and Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
But I remember those. I was typically going for, if the ice cream truck pulled up, there were a couple different things. I was, if they had the option of a snow cone, I was almost always going for a snow cone of some kind.
Okay.
The other one, the King cone, like the big cone that you could get in the wrapper. It had like the waffle cone and it had the chocolate on top and all that. The other one was, I feel like, and I'm trying to remember if this was something we got at the store or something you'd get from the ice cream truck, but I remember they had these ice cream bars that were WWF superstars.
Oh.
And they were like these ice cream bars on a stick that had, I don't know, somehow they had kind of printed on the side of the ice cream bar a picture of your favorite wrestlers. And they would have had like, you know, Hulk Hogan, they would have had Macho Man, $1 Million Man, Andre the Giant, you know, characters like that. So I don't recall if that was something we got at the store or if that was something you could get off the ice cream truck, but I remember having those as a kid.
Gotcha.
Bo, what about yours? What were you doing from the ice cream truck?
I do remember the bomb pops too, but I was an ice cream sandwich guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
The big, jumbo, thick ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
I like the Neapolitan ones once in a while.
That's a classic.
To Pat's exotic flavor, you know?
Yeah.
Ice cream sandwiches, still to this day, when I see one, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should.
Have you heard, like, have you ever had a margarita ice cream sandwich?
No.
I believe it's a general type recipe. My mom would always make them. We'd have them up at the lake, you know, it'd be a summer deal, out on the water all day, like sunburned, like dehydrated, even though we were drinking water. You had a wonderful meal, and then those suckers would come out, and holy Moses, you couldn't resist that. Lime ice cream, and then it was like sugar cookies formed the sandwich thing of it. I think it was lime ice cream, and then you trinkle just a little bit of sea salt on the top. To say to die for would be the understatement of the century. If you Google it, I think like a generic recipe will come up.
Oh, I Google
man,
it.
Those suckers are worth their weight in gold.
I Google image searched it, and it's looking pretty good.
Okay, so it is, and it's lime ice cream, right?
Yeah. Yep. My assumption is then that you also chase this with tequila.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, we started eating them when, like, you know, we were like maybe 12 and 13, so maybe a little bit young for the tequila with the parents, but you know.
Each to their own.
You're not getting it off the ice cream truck unless it's a really special kind of ice cream truck.
Well, maybe like the one in this movie.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, those margarita ice cream sandwiches.
Those actually look pretty good. All right, question number 2. Have you ever been in a fight?
No, for Pat. I'm a lover, but not a fighter.
Okay.
Indeed.
Not since grade school. I remember fighting some kids in grade school, but kind of after that point, and was like, you know what? I am so strong. That would be a vulgar display of power.
There you go.
I decided that in second grade. I was like, you know what? These are lethal weapons, and I must put them away for the good of humanity.
That's right.
So.
That's sort of like that Worf plot line from Next Generation, right?
Yes, I played soccer when I lived in England, and I kicked a kid's head clear off. And from that point on,
That's right.
I promised I would never, ever play soccer or get in a fight ever again.
Actually, that was a Deep Space Nine episode, not a TNG. I apologize for screwing that up.
True.
So, but that was your thing. Like, you were just too rough on the kids, and you're just like, man, I can't. I'm gonna retire with the crown.
Exactly. Now, just instead of decapitating people, I'm just gonna sit there and sip my tea. Good tea.
Earl Grey. Hot.
Yes. All right, and finally, question number 3. What is your favorite Chris Tucker movie?
I'm going Rush Hour.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Daily double in it.
I think I got a daily triple it because I love him in Rush Hour.
Bam!
Yeah, he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, even Rush Hour 2, like...
Yeah.
It's funny stuff, and I don't know if he's that good, if it's him playing off Jackie Chan that makes it so good. But it's good.
I really think that buddy cop thing is a revival of the buddy cop thing from the 80s.
Yeah.
I think Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker nailed it. And I might even go so far, like, this isn't pre-scripted. I'm going to go off script. Has there been a buddy cop movie since then? Or a buddy movie since then?
That's a good question.
I'm going no until Black Widow.
Okay.
I really think Scarlett Johansson and I'm gonna totally forget her name.
Oh, Florence Pugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two were fantastic in that movie.
So there are some since, a lot of them are remakes or sequels.
Oh, okay.
But let's see, you've got...
What do you got?
Since Rush Hour, you've got the Bad Boys sequel. You had 2 Bad Boys sequels. You had the Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. You have 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. There was a movie with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy called The Heat from 2013.
Mm.
You had Starsky and Hutch from 2004.
Okay.
So a few here and there, but all of those are remakes of a TV show or a different property other than The Heat. Not to be confused with Heat. It's very different movies.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yeah, a lot of them seem to be either remakes of a TV show or sequels of something that already exists.
Right.
And maybe there were the others, but those are the ones I could search for real fast and pull off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, man, Rush Hour was great. And it was just what that movie did, bringing Hong Kong martial arts into mainstream movie. That's incorrect. Into an American movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. That's one I haven't seen in a while too. I need to go back and rewatch it.
What year was that one?
Rush Hour?
Yeah.
98.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yes, either 98 or 99. I feel like Bo and I were in maybe seniors in high school when it came out.
Okay.
That seems right in my brain for some reason. But yeah, should be 98 or 99. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, as always, we love talking about movies. This is such a fun one to talk about. If you have not seen it, granted, we've spoiled the whole thing for you, but definitely go give it a watch. And then there's a couple of other sequels,
If you
too.
have not seen it, you should have stopped this a long time ago.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
We did do the spoiler warning. We did warn you.
Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of sequels, too. And I don't know. I'm trying to remember if have you guys seen either of the sequels? Because I don't know that I have.
I have not.
If I saw Next Friday, I saw it once.
Yeah, I have not seen the sequels.
Okay. Because I think there's Next Friday, and I think there's Friday After Next, which is the third one. I don't think there's anything after that. I believe those are just the only three.
That sounds like plenty.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. This has been a lot of fun. We've got some other good stuff coming up. This is the end of our comedy month. This is the end of August, end of comedy month. Coming up next month, we start a life of crime. So we go from comedy to crime. And next month we're going to start it off with hold on, I'm going to pause for just a moment before I say this, because Pat, you might be in your car as you're recording this right now.
I'm in my car, man. Say it, John. I'm prepared.
Okay.
My soul is prepared, John. Say it.
Okay. Next week we're doing Heat.
Woo-hoo! There is no other movie. That movie is the list.
Okay.
I
just wanted to make sure you didn't drive off the road when I said that, Pat.
Yeah, there is no other movie. There is nothing else. The Heat is it.
Okay.
When it goes to Taco Bell in the future, everyone watches one movie, and it is Heat.
And it is Heat. Yeah. Well, Heat won the movie franchise wars, so that's why it's the only one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. So Heat will be next week, and then
the only one.
That's one Heat only. I don't know what we just mashed up, but it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was some stuff happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
all the things happened in the last 5 seconds.
It's a whole mosh pit of movies is what it is. We've got Heat coming up next week, and then after that we have Casino, and then our 10th anniversary rewatch for next month is going to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit from 1988, and then we finish off the munch. I must be hungry, or it's because we watched this movie and I've got the munchies.
That could be too.
Either one, half a dozen one, Strange Days and Copycat are going to finish out the month for us. So got a lot of really good stuff coming up. Check out our website. Check out the social medias. We're at 30 Podcast. Our website is 30podcast.com. That's where you can find all the episodes. Search for all the old stuff. If you're with us over on Patreon, we've got a bunch of free stuff that's coming out each month. We've got the short episodes that come out every month for free, so you can join us over there, get some of those. If you join us at any level of support over there, really, really helps out the show to keep things going. Sometimes if we need to replace equipment and things like that, that kind of goes, the budget for that stuff kind of goes from there. We're not doing this to make money. We're doing this because we love it. If you love it too, and if you found any value in the show, I would encourage you, even if even just the smallest amount at all, really, really helps us out with that. So we appreciate and love every single one of the people that listen. Thank you, especially to the folks that are helping us out over there so that we can keep doing this and it's not an additional financial burden on top of the time that we spend doing it, because we just love talking about movies and we love being able to interact with all the folks that listen. That being said, head on over to Patreon if you want to get some of that stuff too. There's all kinds of other ways that you can support by letting people know about the show, share it on social media. Let us know. Give us a call. We've got the voicemail line. If you go to our website, there's a little voicemail button that you can tap on or click, and that will give you a chance to record something, send it in. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to share that on the show if you want us to. If you don't want us to, just let us know in the message, but we would love to hear from you. All right, everybody, be excellent to each other. Go watch some good movies. Go watch Friday if you haven't seen this one yet. It is awesome. It's a good hang movie, especially if it's Friday. Maybe it's movie night Friday. Get yourself a pizza, go to Blockbuster, rent this movie, and enjoy your Friday night. All right, everybody. Be excellent to each other. go watch this movie, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bring the lights down low, it's time to show. Lights, camera, you know what we mean. Behold the magic of the silver screen. Some movies rock, some movies shock, they're powerful, alright. We cover them all on your favorite part. So many movies we can choose, even when you win, you lose. Life moves pretty fast, some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no math. It's the 30-something movie podcast. Be excellent to each other. Please add a word to your mother. They're from the best decades. Movie magic that never fades. Lightsabers clash, phasers set to stun. Action packed from dusk till dawn. We have deep thoughts and questions free. Come share our love of the movies we see. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no